We need to get over ourselves. We are so wrapped up in ourselves, our wants, our needs, our happiness that we don't think about what our man needs, what what makes him happy, right? What value we can add. It's not just about what do we bring to the table, but once we're there, how do we behave, right? What does that even look like? Women think it's, oh, I have this degree. Men don't care about that. They don't care about that. What do they care about? What are their wants, desires, needs? What do they need from you? How can you add value to them? Well, we used to know because we used to require it. You know what? We all used to be a lot happier. I'm going to talk about technically 8 ways, but 7 ways of how to treat your man. Ways you should honor him, treat him, all of those things that we've lost in society. Welcome back to Far From Eden. First thing is F him, feed him, leave him alone. He needs his alone time. He needs his F time. And feeding him is a nurturing thing. It's also helpful because you don't have to worry about that, right? Anyway, let's get into it. You don't turn him down. You don't. And you, as a woman, need to initiate. Initiate. Show him that you're attracted to him. Show him that you want to express yourself that way, express your love for him that way. It's important that he feel desired. And you know what? You can do it with a headache. And don't ever make it seem like it's a chore. Don't ever do that. Ever. Okay. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, these are not in any particular order. And these are from me. This is not an article or anything like that. This is all advice from Erin to the ladies, but also to the men, because you should have these expectations. I realize you're like, this is more of a fairy tale than what you read on Sundays. I get it, but doesn't mean you shouldn't have these expectations. Okay? And because you can't find anything that resembles this, that's why you're walking away, unless and until conditions improve, because they need to get their act together. Number 1. Oh, also, the women especially need to ignore society and what it tells us about, oh, that's codependent, or you're going to lose yourself in him, or you're going to lose yourself in the relationship. Yeah, that's the whole point. Now, you'll still be you, but you're now different because you're a union. If you maintain your individuality, that's a big problem, because then you can't be a union and an individual at the same time. You just can't. Society will try to tell women that, yes, you have to, it's imperative. It's wrong. There's a lot of psychology that's a bunch of baloney. In fact, the more I learn about it, the more I think maybe it all is. So anyway, be accountable to him. It means, first and foremost, I believe, recognize there's a higher power that you're also accountable to between what is right and wrong. And realize that when you do wrong, it's not good for your union in any way. You're lying to anyone, even not to him. Be accountable to him and to his principles. And hopefully your principles are aligned. But when you realize, oh yeah, he also has that principle, you shouldn't want to break it or bend it or anything like that. Be accountable to him. It'll make you a better person. Trust me. He's thinking about you in the things that he does. That's just what men do. That's what good men do. Stop picking the losers and the felons and the ones that are out there trying to just, accumulate whatever, like a roster. Those are the extremes. The majority are wonderful men who would make good husbands. And when I say husbands, I don't mean marriage contract. Y'all know that. Think about representing him and his name. This is still under accountability because you do. You represent him in social settings, wherever. Make sure you recognize that when you are conducting yourself. And again, that'll make you a better person. You represent the union, you represent his last name. And if women don't want this or whatever, then don't get married. No one's forcing you. I don't believe in forcing you. But if you want to have a union, a serious union with someone, and you should take it seriously, this is what you do. And it doesn't steal who you are as a person, it doesn't oppress you. This is where fulfillment lies. This one they really are not going to like. Listen and obey. Once again, this is not oppression, and nobody's forcing you to. You don't have to get into a relationship like this. I'm just saying this is what's best, and this is what I think men deserve. When you decide to listen and obey, what you're giving that man is your undying trust. You're telling him, I think you have some skills that I lack. I think you should lead this family. And you're a family when you join together. Even before you have children, this is a whole different thing. It's a decision that you make to listen and obey him, because there's going to be a lot of times when you have hesitations where you flatly disagree. Also, it's not a battle. You're not trying to get your way. You're not trying to make him see. That's not your job. Your job is to listen and go with what he thinks is best. Maybe they're allergic to the word obey. Listen to him, trust him, follow him. And always realize in that he has your best interest at heart. He's not out there trying to ruin your life. He's not out there trying to, have power over you. For some reason, that's how we take it a lot of times. We think, oh, if we're listening and obeying, that means he's going to be a tyrant. No. And again, if for some reason he is, well, you've chosen, one of the ones, the outliers that would want to do that, because most men don't want to do that. They want to see you happy. They want to see a smile on your face. So you have to trust that that's true. And that's a gift that you give him. Make a decision. This is number 3. Be grateful. Being grateful for him is also a decision, because there's going to be times where you get sick of each other. You're living together for years and years and decades. There's going to be times you get on each other's nerves. That's just, common sense. We all do that. But you have to actively be like, no, I'm grateful. I'm grateful I met him. I'm grateful he's in my life. I'm grateful I get to pick his socks up off the floor. A little trick you can do in your mind is imagine all of a sudden he's gone. Imagine something happened to him. Suddenly you're like, oh my gosh, I'm glad I get to do his laundry, right? I'm glad sometimes he gets on my nerves, because otherwise, what's the alternative? That he's not here? And I'm not just saying, because I can hear you guys right now, I'm not just saying that you're just grateful for like what he does for you. You want to get out of that trap. You're not grateful for, the fact that he makes a lot of money or those sorts of things, because that can go away. That can go away. But if he has the heart to, put a roof over your head and do those things, provided that you are adding the equivalent value to him, it's probably not going to be equivalent, but you know what I mean, to the best of your ability, you want to do that. So you want to also purposefully notice the things that he does. That is the effort that he puts in to the union of the two of you. And be grateful for the things that make him him, right? Maybe he maybe he runs marathons, right? And you're like, wow, he works so hard to do that. That takes so much. I really admire him for that. And that'll lead into the next one too. But you know what I mean? Like whatever his hobbies are, just really admire those things and be grateful for his individuality and who he is because he's not just like a random Ken doll. That's not how you should look at your husband. I'm just going to use that word, even though government marriage, no. But that's how you should look at your husband is that he's not just some random guy that like any other stand-in could work. The jokes that he tells, you know, whatever makes him him. Be grateful for it. Be grateful for it. Make sure I didn't miss anything. And again, this takes intention because life gets tough. People get busy. We have all tendencies to fall into negative things, right? It takes much more energy to choose to be positive about it and choose to be grateful, especially in this world, right? You're just bombarded with negative stuff and stress. So you have to be like, I'm not, you have to guard it. You have to guard that, you know? Okay. That leads into adore him. Absolutely remember the stars in your eyes when you were first falling for him. It's up to you to do that as a woman. It's not up to him to like bring you the flowers or do whatever that silly romantic stuff is, where it's somehow his responsibility to keep you that way. That's impossible. No one can make you feel something. Women know they can just get just as annoyed at flowers as they can be like, oh my God, that's so sweet. Right? And we have to take responsibility for how we feel and how we react to things. That's how you stay adoring him. It's so important to sort of look up to him. Look at him like, wow, he's such a good role model, right? I'd like to be more like him in these ways. It's like we're allergic to that in our society. There's this power struggle where women are like, no, I don't need no man, right? That is the opposite of adoring him and trusting him and everything we've talked about thus far. Is it any wonder that people are unhappy in their relationships and breaking them up or never having a real union in the first place, which is happening a lot? You have to get over yourself. Men seem to be able to do that a lot better. Women, you got to get over yourselves and get under him. Sorry, that was a little dirty, but we're talking about husbands, right? So it's true. Get over yourself and get under him. Adore him. Look up to him. Admire him. Choose him every day. This goes along with adoring him. Choose him every day. Every day. There's no day when you're not making that decision to stay in congruence, I guess that's the right way to say it, with things I've said thus far. This goes along with adoring. It's so important and also so foreign to all of us, I know. Especially you guys. You guys are like, sure, yeah, right. But I'm telling you, it used to be like this. And the good book says, do these things. Doesn't say it in the words that I'm using, but this is what we're meant to be doing. This is how women show men love. Because I'm just going to take a little side note here. Men show love differently. I think that they do a more genuine version as far as the meaning of the word love. I think because their love is at its heart sacrificial. That is just the way nature has set us up. If, the wild animal comes or the predator, man, other bad guy comes, it's the man that goes and does the protection. I'm not saying that that is like, we've imposed that by society, blah, blah, blah. He's bigger and stronger. It's like, if you say society has imposed that, that's like saying society has imposed that women have the babies. Like, no, we're biologically set up to do that. Meanwhile, someone's biologically set up to protect a woman when she's, which naturally in a union, she would be pregnant a lot in her fertile years because birth control is a modern invention. So they have that role, and it is a sacrificial one. It's just the case. And they physically work. Once again, women's bodies are not set up to do that. Now, women do sacrifice in their own way by bearing the children. It's not the same, but going through the pain and utilizing your body to grow a new life and what that does to you, and especially being pregnant over time, it takes from you. You're giving that. And so it's its own sort of way to sacrifice. I think it's interesting. I've heard Andrew Wilson say this, and I say his name because I actually learned this from him, but he talks about how women's salvation is tied to bearing children, giving birth. And at first it just struck me. And I thought, what? No, it's believing in Jesus and he's your savior, right? But then I thought, well, no, because think about it this way. The pain and everything that goes along with birthing, that's the curse, that's Eve's curse from the garden. And the giving, I think it changes a woman's heart when she does that. And I think that's very true. And I'll tell you just again, when I finally humbled myself about never having had children and realized how I had fallen so short of something God had asked me to do. I'd made the decision. I have MS. I shouldn't do that. It'll be too hard on me. No man will want me to be the mother of his child because I'm disabled and all the rest of it, right? I made those decisions. I played God. And I took the decision away from any man who would have had me, right? When I realized that, I absolutely fell before God and kneeled before Jesus and realized just how lacking I am and that I need the Lord to wipe that clean. So I say that to say that that is the way that a woman sacrifices, right? So you just choose him every day. That leads into number 5, decide to ride or die. You guys know what I mean by that, right? But that's a phrase, and maybe some of our, non-native English speakers, that means I'm here no matter what till the end. No matter what happens, I'm with you. You have to show him that, and you have to tell him that so that he knows every day, no matter what mistakes he might make, no matter what mood he might be in, even if he's in a mood for 5 years, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what you do, she's going to be there. Doesn't matter. He needs to know that. He needs to have that security. And what also goes along with that is he has to be like family. There's a part in Song of Solomon where it refers to your wife being like your sister. Now, I know that sounds all incestuous, but that's not how it's meant. So you need to look at your husband the way you would look at a brother, in that no matter what, he's always going to be your brother. You can't ever change that because he's your brother. This is how your husband needs to be. No matter what he does, he's your husband. Full stop. I know that sounds insane because everybody's looking for an escape hatch. But if you have that escape hatch, you don't have anything. He can't be walking around thinking, oh no, right? He's gonna do his best anyway. And trust me, everybody does their best in life when someone believes in them and is there and is committed to them, really committed, not committed conditionally, not committed unless this, but I am here with you, ride or die. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what you do. You can't get rid of me. that sounds psycho, but I don't mean it that way, obviously. Keep within ride or die. Part of that is you are the safe place for his vulnerability. Why did I stick that ride or die? Because when he knows you're ride or die, then he knows that that vault is very safe, right? You're not going to leave him and then tell everybody or put it all over TikTok, right? It's safe. It's never whatever he says to you, whatever. And men cry, and that is fine. You're not going to look down at him for that. And so if he needs to cry, if something has hurt him, if he needs to talk about, anything, voices, concerns, insecurities, whatever that is, safe with you. And you're not going to think any less of him. If he knows you're ride or die, he knows he can come to you with anything. And you're not going to think he's less than. You're not going to start not trusting him. You're not going to now look down on him because you're ride or die. It has to be there. If you don't have that, what is the rest of it? Conditional. You have to have that. I need shirt to say ride or die. Build him up. Build him up. That's your job. That's your job. And if anybody's on there like, well, yeah, but well, what does he do? It takes two. Of course it takes two. I'm not talking about the men. I think they're doing a lot better, actually. But I'm not talking about them right now. People, women, have to be able to hear what they should do and some corrections we could make and should make without saying, oh, but what about him? But he did this. Blah, blah, blah. What is his job? That's separate. Separate. We're talking about us right now. So you got to build him up, right? Encourage him. Show him that you believe in him. If he's like, I don't know if I could, or I don't know, honey, you're great at this. You're so smart. Of course you can do it. I believe in you. That's what you do. You're not all busy with your own thing and and grumpy over here and hey, did you take out the trash? No. What's he facing? What are the challenges he faces? Men have insecurities too. And don't you think it might be helpful if they had a friend, someone who, like we said in the last one, knows his vulnerabilities, knows his weaknesses, but yet says, honey, if anybody can do it, you can. Or compliment something he's already done. And I'm not talking about manipulation at all. Like, I'm going to compliment this so he does it more. No. If he tells you something that happened or whatever, and you notice something, oh, wow, that's great. Congratulations. So many times, like, say he goes golfing and women are like, oh my God, he's golfing again or whatever. Ask him how it was. Ask him how he did. Oh, wow, that's great. Did you have fun? That's great. I love that. I love that you had that day hanging out with your friends. And it's so smart that you make the time to do that with your busy schedule. So smart that you balance it that way. How hard is that? You find the things. This has to be intentional. All of it is. You find the things. You're gonna compliment him, but you chose him. Like it's ridiculous to think that you have nothing to compliment him on. You should have a ton. But if you're always thinking about yourself, well, you're not gonna have as much, are you? No. Let's see where we are. So you're building him up, encouraging him, complimenting him. Now, number 7. This might be the most important besides the F them, feed him, and leave him alone. Honor him. Honor him. Honor and respect him. All of these things we've talked about thus far, honor him. But it needs to be pointed out, bless you, it needs to be pointed out separately because it is so important. Do not dishonor your man ever. We've said all the things to do to honor him. Now, here's what you never, ever, ever, ever do. Never disparage him to anyone else. Do not go and talk to your girlfriends, talk to anybody, and say anything negative about him, even joking. Do not do that. What happens when you do that, not only is it wrong, but you feed those things. That is anti all the rest of the stuff we talked about. It's going to be a lot harder to compliment him and trust him. Bless you again, goodness. To trust him and all those things if you're feeding. Oh, yeah, my husband does that too. Ugh, men, don't do that. That's bad for you. That feeds unhappiness. The negative feeds unhappiness. Don't do it. And then if you're doing it in your group of friends or whatever, and then you say it, then they're going to say it, then you're going to say it, and it just builds and feeds discontent. Do we want to be happy or don't we? I think we've got a lot of, I'm unhappy. This is the cure for that. Never, ever insult him. Ever. Do not call him a name. Do not criticize something he's done. I know. People are like, what? Yeah, it's possible. Trust me, it's possible. You don't criticize him. Just trust me, it's possible. You never, ever emasculate him. Don't say anything or behave in any way that would or could, in anyone's imagination, make him feel like less of a man. Don't do it. Don't compliment other men. Don't, if he's 5'8", 5'9", don't try to insinuate anything short. Don't even like say he's 5'5", right? And you're watching a movie and then somebody makes a joke about short men or what have you. Don't laugh at it. I'm talking about never, ever make him feel like less of a man. Women are very intuitive. We know how our words affect people. It's something we're really good at. For a reason. We're raising the children, right? We're keeping the social structure together. This is what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to be society's. I'm laughing because it's ridiculous when you look at society now, but we're supposed to be the moral authority in society, right? We're the ones that passed the 18th Amendment that was banning alcohol, right? Even though we couldn't vote then. We still pushed for that because we're like, hey, we got to knock this off. This is naughty stuff. So we used to do that because we didn't want those negative influences getting to our children or our husbands. We really held society accountable morally. So, I lost my train of thought. Anyway, women are in charge of the social stuff. So we know how our words affect. So when it's like, oh, I didn't know. You know if something's gonna make him feel like less of a man. Don't do it. You cannot undo your words. Let me finish with this very important thing that women don't know about men. We say a lot of things, call you a lot of names, all that kind of stuff, and then say, well, I was angry. Well, I didn't mean it. I was this, or I was in a bad mood, blah, blah, blah. The thing is, we women, we can have a fight with a girlfriend and say, oh, you this, whatever. And then we get over it. We don't go, oh, I'm still hurting from that. We get over that so quickly. And I don't know if it's a skill because we raise the children and children behave in certain ways and we can't really take that personally, whatever, right? Or I've also thought this scandalous thought. Maybe we're that way because hubby's in a grouchy mood and kind of, and we're like, it's all right. And we shouldn't take it personally. Now, you'll say, yeah, but they do. No, they use it as a weapon. They don't really, it's not really getting it. Anyway, my point in saying that is that men, when you call them a name or you insult their manhood, that is going to stick with them. They get wounded like that emotionally, and it just never goes away. It doesn't bounce off of them. Men have hearts. They have very big hearts. And while they're a lot of times stoic on the outside because they have to be because life, right? They feel it. Just because they don't show it doesn't mean they don't feel it. And they do. Especially when you're their woman. They care the most about what you think. And for you to insult them or emasculate them, that is just something you cannot undo. So we have to take all our strength as women, and I do think we're strong. I just think this is how it's best used towards family, and that means towards your husband too. Doesn't make you less of a woman, it makes you more of a woman to do this and be this way and hold your tongue. Now, we would have taught little girls to do that if we were still raising children the right way. We wouldn't say, oh, she's sassy, right? Anyway, these are the ways that you should treat your man. This is just how it should be done. This, I think, used to be the playbook. And people were happier for it. Children were raised better. People had purpose. They were fulfilled. And when you do all these things as a woman, it focuses yourself on being positive, on looking for the good in a world that is increasingly negative. So it's a battle to purposely be positive about your man and give him these gifts. You're strong enough to do it. Just using your strength in too many negative ways and ways that are not going to fulfill you. It's just that society has lied to you. So, anyway, you men are worth it. You're not getting it. It's hard to see it on the horizon. You saw Hannah on my show. She gives this to her husband. But that's a needle in a needle stack, and you just never know which needle is going to pierce your heart and which one isn't, because they are good actresses. So I'll make another video about if you're really serious about dating, like, let me just tell you all the things to help it be the needle you're looking for, right? But this is what your goal should be: to find a woman. If you're determined, I'm still saying it's not safe, but if you're determined to find a woman, this is what you should make this your goal. If you see a woman and you don't see any of possibility of any of these things, veto. And that's going to veto a lot of them, as it should, as you should. So, with that, I will tell you, protect your peace, feed your souls. I love you guys, and I'll see you on the next one.